last video, we shaped our board, but there was way too much rocker. A good 1.5 feet in the front and another 1.5 feet in the back was hanging out of the water. Basically unused board. So what we needed to do is add a fin, which is what we did. We added a keel, and then I weighted the board down. With the keel in there, and the board weighted down, it really pulled some of the rocker out. So I started off just marking off the center of the board, approximate length of a piece of scrap board that I had left over from another project. You can see the force required to straighten the board out a bit. Not a whole heck of a lot, so I think this might work. I wanted a straight cut with a reasonably consistent depth, so I'm just using a circular saw. As the slot left by the saw wasn't really wide enough, I'm just using a hand rasp here to just kind of widen it up so it would be wide enough for the board as well as the glue expansion. And to avoid another big bunch of pink dust in the pool, I'm actually vacuuming it up this time. Here I am fitting the board, making sure that it's going to fit in that slot. And now digging out some of the fluff out of the slot with that board and a little bit more with the rasp. Added a bunch of paver stones to the board, the same stuff that I used to glue the boards together so that I could flatten it up against the pool deck. It's hanging over the edge of the pool deck so that the front can still maintain its rocker. Gorilla Glue requires a little bit of moisture to activate, so I'm spraying it into the slot. I'm using Gorilla Glue as an alternative to the expanding foam to try to glue this piece of board in. Gorilla Glue is a much better adhesive for gluing to the foam, but it's also quite a bit more expensive. and smoothing out the Gorilla Glue. I'm placing the keel using a mallet to make sure it's all the way down in the slot. Removing the stones. So will this work? Looks like it. The board's still flat on the ground in the back. Let's try this thing out. Let's drop this in the pool and test it out. Looks like I'm getting a little too comfortable jumping on this. Maybe a little too overconfident, more like. But the keel works great as a fin. Really tracks nicely now. I can still turn it, but it tracks nice.